Villagers all this frosty tide, let your door swing open wide. The wind may follow and snow beside, yet let us in by your fire to bide, and joy shall be yours in the morning. Joy shall be yours in the morning. Here we stand in the cold and the sleet, rubbing fingers and stamping feet. Come from far away, you to greet, you by the fire and we in the street, and joy shall be yours in the morning. Joy shall be yours in the morning. Good man Joseph toiled through the snow, saw a star or a stable low. Mary, she might not further go, welcome the thatch and the litter below, and joy shall be yours in the morning. Joy shall be yours in the morning. Then they heard the angels tell, who were the first to say Noel. Animals all as it befell, there in the stable where they did dwell, and joy shall be yours in the morning. Joy shall be yours in the morning. Villagers all this frosty tide, let your doors swing open wide. The wind may follow and snow beside, yet let us in by your fire to bide, and joy shall be yours in the morning. Joy shall be yours in the morning. Joy shall be yours in the morning. Joy shall be yours in the morning.
It was nearly Christmas. Annie and Clarabel were packed full of people and parcels. Thomas was having very hard work. Come on, he puffed. We're feeling so full, rumbled the coaches. Thomas looked at the hill ahead. Can I do it, he puffed anxiously. Suddenly, he saw a handkerchief waving from a cottage window. He felt better at once. Yes, I can, he puffed bravely. He pulled his hardest and soon was through the tunnel and resting in the station. That was Mrs. Kindly who waved to you, Thomas, his driver told him. She has to stay in bed all day. Poor lady, said Thomas. I am sorry for her. Engines have heavy loads at Christmas time, but Thomas and Toby didn't mind the hard work when they saw Mrs. Kindly waving. But then it began to rain. It rained for days and days. Thomas didn't like it, nor did his driver. Off we go, Thomas, he would say. Pull hard and get home quickly. Mrs. Kindly won't wave today. But whether she waved or not, they always whistled when they passed the lonely little cottage. Its white walls stood out against the dark background of the hills. One day, close to Christmas, it was very wet indeed. Thomas puffed bravely through the weather as the rain hammered against his boiler. They were approaching Mrs. Kindly's cottage, and Thomas was ready to whistle to her. Hello, exclaimed Thomas's fireman. Look at that. The driver came across the cab. Something's wrong there, he said. Hanging, flapping and bedraggled from a window of the cottage, was something that looked like a large red flag. Mrs. Kindly needs help, I expect, said the driver, and put on the brakes. Thomas gently stopped. The guard came squelching through the rain up to Thomas's cab, and the driver pointed to the flag. See if a doctor's on the train, and ask him to go to the cottage. Then walk back to the station and tell them we've stopped. The fireman went to see if the line was clear in front. 2 passengers left the train and climbed to the cottage. Then the fireman returned. Well, back down to the station, said the driver, so that Thomas can get a good start. We shan't get up the hill, the fireman answered. Come and see what's happened. They walked along the line, round the bend. Jiminy Christmas, exclaimed the driver. Go back to the train. I'm going to the cottage. He found the doctor with Mrs. Kindly. Silly of me to faint, she said. You saw the red dressing gown, you're all safe. Yes, smiled the driver. I've come to thank you. There was a landslide in the cutting, doctor, and Mrs. Kindly saw it from her window and stopped us. She saved our lives. God bless you, ma'am, said the driver, and tiptoed from the room. They cleared the line by Christmas Day, and the sun shone as a special train puffed up from the junction. First came Toby, then Thomas with Annie and Clarabel, and last of all, but very pleased at being allowed to come, was Henrietta. The Fat Controller was there, and lots of other people who wanted to say thank you to Mrs. Kindly. Peep, 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 happy Christmas, whistled the engines as they reached the place. The people got out and climbed to the cottage. Thomas and Toby wished they could go too. Mrs. Kindly's husband met them at the door. The Fat Controller, Thomas's driver, fireman and guard went upstairs, while the others stood in the sunshine below the window. The driver gave her a new dressing gown, to replace the ones spoilt by the rain. The guard brought her some grapes, and the fireman gave her some woolly slippers, and promised to bring some coal as a present from Thomas next time they passed. Mrs. Kindly was very pleased with her presents. "You're very good to me," she said. "The passengers and I," said the fat controller, "hope you will accept these tickets for the South Coast, Mrs. Kindly, and get really well in the sunshine. We cannot thank you enough for preventing that accident. I hope we have not tired you. Goodbye, and Happy Christmas." Then going quietly downstairs, they joined the group outside the window and sang some carols before returning to the train. Mrs. Kindly is now at Bournemouth, getting better every day, and Thomas and Toby are looking forward to the time when they can welcome her home.